My name is Polina. My last name is Abaimova. I'm based here in Russia, in Yekaterinburg, and I'm responsible for cloud business in our international subsidiaries. Mostly I'm working with our colleagues from APAC region and also from Eastern Europe. I'm working very close with solution sales guys, with delivery specialists, also with account managers. I'm working with customers. So I do some presentation for them regarding cloud, regarding particular services in cloud. And today I'm going to present these things to you, ladies. So I would suggest, in case you have any questions, please raise your hand and let's put all these questions after my presentation. It wouldn't be so long. I will give you a basic overview regarding cloud business inside Softline and what we understand for cloud and for services in cloud or services around cloud. So that's my deck. I had initial call with Roberto, and he told me what kind of information need to be there. So, ladies, first of all, I would like to tell you that Softline, as I have already mentioned, is a global cloud service provider, and we are working with different vendors. We are working, of course, with Microsoft, and here we are talking about Microsoft 365 or modern workplace solutions around Microsoft technologies. Also, we are working with Azure. I believe you also heard about these big names. And we are working with other cloud providers like Google or GCP, and also Google Workplace. Now they have the former name was G Suite, an analog, kind of analog for M365, and GCP or Google Cloud Platform, again, is analog kind of things like Azure. Also, we are working with AWS or Amazon Web Services. Again, it's the biggest public cloud provider. And Softline also provides some services and subscription for this public cloud. Besides these big cloud providers, they're public, we're also working with some virtualization vendors, like, for example, VMware. And ladies, maybe you have heard, but here in Russia, we have Softline Cloud, our own cloud that we resell to our customers. And this Softline Cloud is virtualized, made based on VMware. So I would say our three key vendors are Microsoft, Google, and AWS or Amazon. Of course, our main vendor, the biggest one where we have most of our service business and subscription business, is Microsoft. We're still working very close with this particular vendor. And as you may know, we are MSP or Microsoft Service Provider eligible. There are about 50 companies all around the world who are eligible to be MSP or Microsoft service providers, and Softline is one of these service provider of one of this company. And I would say that we are in top 5 of biggest Microsoft cloud providers globally, and we have our business around Microsoft in each of our subsidiaries. We start our business with Microsoft, and of course with service around Microsoft as well there. So I would say that, I think you understand this basic overview regarding our vendors, and wouldn't pay too much attention because I believe you have faced with any kind of clouds in your daily life. For example, all of us, we are using Office 365, Outlook. You may know, but our mail, all our emails, they are stored in a cloud, in Microsoft Cloud, in Exchange Online, and you just receive the connection to your mailbox via VPN connection to the public cloud where all these things are stored. We use Teams right now. The Teams is how to say it, I would say that there is no server for Teams, or there is a server which is actually based in cloud, and we use it. So Softline do not have any kind of on-prem infrastructure or just any kind of server, any kind of box which is stored somewhere in the office. And we just use most of the cloud solutions, most of the cloud products in our even daily life. You may also have your mobile phones where you have iCloud or any other clouds that you use where you store your photos, some documents, videos. It's also public cloud, whether it is provided by Apple or by Samsung in case you have, or any other telephone producers. So kind of this. Why cloud business? Why it is so important? Cloud shows a significant growth year over year, and I would say that within last 10 years, the cloud business in general, here we're talking about subscription, software as a service, and all this just basic services around cloud, they are really double each year. So it is really significant growth within last 10 years, and we expect that the growth would be kind of rapidly next 10 years and even more, because now we have that most of the things, they are definitely made for cloud, made in cloud already, or they are kind of developing for cloud-based, so kind of this. So there are three big cloud service providers like Azure, GCP, and AWS. Softline is not there, but we're on a track there, of course. And Softline works with all of them, as I mentioned, and Gartner, you know, this magical quadrant from Gartner predicts that the biggest public cloud providers will command at minimum half of the total public cloud markets until the end of 2023. So that's why Softline working with them, because they're the biggest, they're the most well-known. And key cloud business drivers, first of all, that you need to remember why cloud is so important for customers and for us as a service provider. Sourcing. Data centers of the public cloud can be anywhere. For example, now Microsoft has over 20 data centers all around the world, but I would say that not in every country of Softline presence. For example, here in Russia, Microsoft has no data centers, but at the same time, we utilize this possibility. In Vietnam, for example, Microsoft also has no data center, but there are several data centers in Eastern Asia, like, for example, in Hong Kong and in China and in all other in other countries as well. Some data centers are in Europe, some data centers in Latin America, in the US, of course, and we utilize the workloads which are actually placed outside of our country or outside of our region, for example, but we have an access to it. So architecture in any public cloud is easy and fast scalable infrastructure. That's the main idea behind cloud. That's why cloud is so rapidly grows, because in case you would like to add any application into your infrastructure, you need to download it and place in any kind of infrastructure. For it, customer need to purchase with a new server, which is costly, or rent a space, rent a workload in a public cloud, and it is easier for the customer and easier for us to maintain it. And also governance, also very important. All public clouds are easy to buy and manage for us as a service provider, and yeah, of course, for the customer. And we are a main provider of license, subscription, and as well service. So for us, it's very important that our customer receive everything from a single point: license, subscription, and service around cloud. So that's it. That's why cloud is so important. If we're talking about services that Softline is capable to do in cloud, we have divided them into these 5 pillars. As you can see, maybe you have already seen this, the screenshot, this lovely picture that was created by our colleagues from Latin America, from Costa Rica. Yeah, and we use it. We have it in Russian and in other languages as well. Yeah, if you can imagine how the journey, how the customer journey goes inside cloud. So first of all, customer need to decide whether he or she really need to move all the workloads into cloud. because it is not the easiest way. It is not like you just upload all your photos into iCloud, for example, from your mobile phone. No, imagine you have kind of applications or you have a big databases inside and you need to move them into cloud. Of course, customer first need to check whether such kind of workloads are eligible and possible to be migrated to cloud. So we as a service provider, we are ready to make a kind of audit or readiness for the migration. So that's our first pillar where we have our service. We do some assessment, cloud readiness migration or cloud infrastructure assessment, kind of this. We do such kind of services around cloud. Second pillar, where we have most of our services still, it's cloud migration, and we do this initial migration. So we move one workloads from customer on-prem infrastructure to cloud. But here, of course, we have lots of other services because, again, I would repeat, it's not just simply upload your photos into the iCloud, but you need to make it in the proper way. The infrastructure need to work the same in cloud as it works on-prem, or even better, because what customer is searching for, infrastructure need to be more productive, more accessible from the cloud. That's also an idea behind. After it, of course, you have already uploaded all your workloads, you build this big infrastructure in cloud. You need to protect. I would say that if we would like to compare on-prem and cloud infrastructure, cloud is more security, is more secure for the customer because you have lots of levels of access inside, but at the same time, we as a service provider also can create these different levels on the infrastructure, on the levels of access to application and all the stuff, whether they placed in cloud or they still on-prem, it doesn't matter. So we as a service provider also can do this protection of the perimeter, protection of the data, databases, applications, and so on, data inside. That's important for the customer. All the data need to be stored, need to be secured at the same time. You have heard that we already been a Microsoft service provider for 2 years. Why it is so important for us? Because we as a cloud service provider, we would like to make our business recurring. The half of our business need to be recurring. So we have regular service to our customers. That's why the fourth pillars is so important for us. Cloud management. What we understand under cloud management? Just simply to explain, technical support is again cloud management. Yes, we understand that cloud, it is self-governance, self-maintenance infrastructure. You don't need to download any updates of your software or do any kind of physical maintenance of your service, something like this. But at the same time, when you have lots of infrastructure in cloud, you need to manage. Customer need to manage it somehow. And we as a service provider, we also can help to manage this infrastructure. We can help to make it works better, to use more workloads, pay less, and all the stuff. Yes, you may say that, for example, when we give an advice to customer to minimize some workloads and save some money, it is the worst case for us because we are also a cloud provider, but at the same time, customer pays for service and we become a trusted advisor to the customer, and they continue using our service and also our subscription. Yeah, that's why cloud management is so important. All the things regarding global delivery centers or GDC, you also may heard, they're responsible for this cloud management. That's their business. They're working for it to make the infrastructure of our customers work in a proper way, to be secured, to be maintained, and all the other stuff. Besides it, here we also understand as a service provider that all this migration, of course, one day all our customers would be migrated to cloud, so they don't need the service anymore. So data have been protected already, so no other problems there. So we need just to manage this security, we need to manage this cloud and all this stuff. We are very heavily develop our capabilities for advanced cloud services. Sorry, ladies. Yeah, what we understand there. Maybe you also can have heard about our ISV or independent software vendors, producers, who we are working with very closely. Maybe you have heard about Salesforce, or maybe you have heard about Creatia as a platform, where they have their own developed software, but at the same time, this software is placed somewhere in cloud. So we can propose to our customer this particular software from the vendor, and also the space, the workloads inside cloud where a customer can place this software. That's important as well. So it's kind of package service from our side. Also, we have our API service. Again, maybe you have heard about Google RPG, for example. It's API services. When it is kind of, if you ask me about what is API, just imagine marketplace. For example, you have a marketplace where different producers, different suppliers can give their goods, products, services, and you as a user can purchase in one bill, for example, different services, different products from different producers and suppliers. That's how API works. So it is a platform where all these guys are gathering, and you as a user can utilize all of them, can use all the services. So we also provide such kind of integrations, such kind of projects. We also have bot solution. I believe you also have heard about Power App, when we have a very small and very understandable applications inside Teams. For example, we create such kind of application for our customers, like, for example, booking a deck, or booking any kind of company facilities, check the availability of the person, and so on. Yeah, so we do such kind of application because we have internal resources for it. And of course, we are working with modern workplace solutions. Yeah, again, starting from integration Teams with any kind of telco system, and completing again some applications based on different bases. So no problem there. So in general, if we're talking about cloud service portfolio, we're talking about these 5 pillars. So that's how it works right now. Are you there, ladies? Everything is fine? Yeah, maybe I'm too fast, but I hope it is quite understandable. Why Softline is so important for our customers, how we position in ourselves in front of them on the market. And I think that from time to time, it's also important to say it to your interviewee who comes to your new guys, yes, who will come to our customers. So we still have, and each year we confirm this level, highest level of cloud providers partnerships with all these 3 vendors that I mentioned, again, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. We present in more than 50 countries in 95 cities globe. We have lots of cloud technology partners worldwide, because we are not working with HQ here or with regional or local resources. We are working with other partners there. We have certification ISO, and we complete the certification, do this auditing every year. We have over, here it is 150 successful cloud engagement, but we have more than 3,000 customers right now who purchase any kind of cloud services, license, and subscription from us. Yeah, globally, that's important. We have lots of certified architects, consultants, and engineers. Again, it's our delivery base, delivery team who we are working with. And of course, we have agile project management practice. That's important because if you are hunting guys from big companies and they are familiar with all these things like agile, scrum, and all other big abbreviatures, you would understand that these people, first of all, they are from IT industry. They know how it works, what is the principles for working for IT. Yeah, that's important. I have used this slide to show our capabilities, again, to show the journey of our customers and also our engineers and architects inside. You can see there are 5 pillars as well, the same that I just mentioned, and there are several solutions inside that we propose to our customers. I would recommend to use these vendors, which is on the bottom of the slide, and check just try to remember the names. That's important for your new guys, just to check whether they're aware about VM technologies or Veritas, or they're aware about Cloud Health or something like this, for you to understand that these particular solutions are from this pillar for cloud management, and Turbonomics or Citrix can be used for managing any kind of cloud infrastructure, multi-cloud infrastructure. Quest tools or CloudWay tool can be used to make the migration to cloud. Yeah, that's important to understand. That's an overview. Of course, it's not there are not all the solutions that we propose to our customers. We have variety of them, but if we're talking about basic, about our portfolio, about our journey for the customer, that's how it looks like. And I don't know if you are familiar with this abbreviation like ES, PaaS, and SaaS. I have already mentioned some of them. SaaS stands for software as a service. When ready to use software is placed somewhere in cloud, like for example, Office 365 is SaaS, typical SaaS. When you just utilize this application for your daily life and it plays somewhere, Softline even doesn't manage this infrastructure where Office 365 is placed. So we also have platform as a service, or PaaS, when we as a service provider create not just simple virtual machines database, I would say about it, but ready to use platform, for example, for developers, DevOps environment or development environment for developers, and they just do some testing workloads, load testing for their application, and we provide it. And the basic one where Softline is really the best is infrastructure as a service. When we create this infrastructure in the cloud based on customer requirements, just simple virtual machine databases, some load balancers, some data lakes, and all the stuff. So that's how it looks like. And yeah, what's important for us as sales guys, because I'm responsible for sales, first of all, skills for solution sales managers. I have done several interviews already, and I understand that yes, hard skills are very important if we're talking about sales guys. But at the same time, I understand that it is so nice when this interviewee has any kind of sales experience. And ladies, my personal wish, and that's important for us, the key point that we are searching for sales specialist. And please help to check that the person is ready to sell and they're ready to make these KPIs. I believe that you know this information and ask about it regarding previous experience, some big deals, big customers. If we're talking about service around cloud, it would be very nice that this interviewee has any kind of experience for public clouds, like, again, I have already mentioned them, Azure, GCP, or AWS. It also can be private clouds, local private clouds, or local public cloud providers, like, for example, Softline Cloud in Russia, but in your territory. Please ask your cloud solution sales manager. They would give you a name, some names. That's important, that our new solution sales managers, they at least heard and know anything about cloud. If we're talking about big deals, I think that this question is also very important, because from time to time I see that there are some guys who I interviewed, and they're really kind of frightened for big numbers. And big service project starts from 65K USD, which is not actually too much for service business. And if we're talking about recurring contracts, 100K USD, that's a kind of big one, but quite typical. We expect that our solution sales, of course, would be at least it would be possible for them to close such deals. Yes, we understand that some of our solution sales, they are working with SMB customers. They're important for us, but in case they do not frighten for these big deals, they would be ready to close the smalls. That's my personal opinion regarding it. And of course, ask about previous customers, some well-known names in your region, and also maybe some global customers. Like, for example, we are working with, for Coca-Cola in Asia Pacific, for DHL in some territories, for Shiseido, for Raiffeisen Bank, or any kind of big banks like Caixa in Brazil. Also, we're working for some airlines companies like Malaysian Airlines. We are working with Russian Airlines here in Russia, and other big names. Yeah, I think that at least when interviewee knows these big names, and they are okay, cloud oriented companies, that's also would be very nice. Maybe they this new person, he or she doesn't sell anything to this customer, but at least knows that they're ready to cloud, they're asking for a cloud. That's great as well. If we're talking about hard skills, which is also very important point, but for maybe for delivery engineers, first of all, ask about cloud technologies, big cloud service providers, again, in your territory, and what's the difference between on-prem and cloud. If we're talking about cloud technologies, just ask simple questions regarding what types of workloads do you know in Azure. There would be simple answers like virtual machines, some storages, data lakes, blobs, load balancing, VPN connectors, any kind of things like this. In case this interviewee can name just couple of them, that would be really very, very nice. I would say that, of course, there are different names, types of virtual machines, for example, types of storages inside different public clouds, but from the very beginning, it doesn't matter. In case interviewee understands that, okay, there is a virtual machine, and also there should be kind of disk or storage for this virtual machine, that would be enough. Yeah, we are ready to provide all other onboarding procedure, all other knowledges from our side. Yeah, that this person would know everything about public cloud. Regarding big cloud service providers, for us, it's also important that whether it is engineer or solution sale, he or she understands that there are competitors on the market. They are quite big, and they also working there. They are eligible to sell subscription license and services for our customers. Just couple of names. Some of them can be locals, but some of them can be quite big, like for example, Crayon or Software One. We have them as our competitors here in Russia as well, and in different territories. And yeah, on-premise vs cloud, what just ask about, could you name some key cloud benefits? I have already mentioned them on the very first one of the first slides, like scalability, accessibility, very high SLA if we compare with on-prem infrastructure, also security, possibility to have software as a service to place it there in cloud, and many others. I think that maybe in some cases replies are not so important, but in case this interviewer is ready to support any kind of conversation with you, trying to reply these questions, that's important. At least he or she understands what we are talking about. That's nice. Any questions since now? Because I have actually one case to check sales skills and um, differentiate people based on their replies. So please feel free, and I would go to the cases and check how it works for you.